Bad news first. The bad news is some people find a way to somehow get on your noggin. These people or this person somehow you say, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go this way, or I'm gonna go that way. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be there. You either say it to yourself or you say it to them or to someone else. Or you say it to yourself and they find a way to get on your noggin. The good news is you can do it. We can do it. And I can do it. The good news is I do a different one person than I do the ones I did earlier. You see things from different angles sometimes. Right here, the perception is one in front of me. Right there, the perception is one in front of me, two in front of me. One in front of me, two in front of me. Go to the perception. No, we could do this one also. Everyone is going to be the same. One, two. One, two. This is the angle I did earlier. One, two. One, two. One, two, three. When I was taking an art class, that to one of my classmates that I walked home after art class, the class I wasn't supposed to be in through the chronological order on the syllabus. Taking that class and looking at that when I no longer was taking the class because of what's going on right now in the world. The art class that I was taking, you had to draw portraits. You had to draw it on the table. However, depending on where you were in the circle of our classmates sitting around the portrait, you would draw a different thing because you would be at a different angle. It Everything would be sitting on the table. However, depending on where you were sitting at, you would have a different picture drawn on your canvas. You would get a sheet of paper, put it on the canvas board, take the two clips and clip the edges of the paper to the canvas board. You would begin to draw. However, you would see from the scope of the angle that you were sitting at. And give an example. One of them, I know one of them was like a skull, an apple, and something like a book, etc., etc. And some was like a horse, and we did flowers. We did different things, and a lot of those different things, like it'd be like 5, 7 things on the table at once, or maybe 2 or 3, depending on what angle you were sitting at in the circle, like how the clock goes clockwise. So say if it'd be 12 people, or it'd be something like a circular circumference of 24 people, something like that. Depending on what depending on what number knot you were at on that, whatever print you were at, you would see it from a different angle. No two drawings would be alike. They would be similar but alike. In the similarity, it'd be all the objects. However, the class was what I was getting from the class, because again, I didn't read my syllabus that much. Didn't read the syllabus. I got in the class maybe a day or two late. However, what I got of it is you had to draw it in spaces and in diameter of where it could be, everything had to be realistic. So if you drew something like the skull that was on there, or the apple, or the flower, or the horse, it would have to match up with the lining of his eye. It's terms for this. Had to match up with the instructor. Had to match up with when they held there, because they were basically a master drawer, and he had to draw on portraits at least, and it had to line up with their arm length to where they would sit down and take a gaze at. It would have to line up like that, and everything would have to be in the same shape space. Like if it was like 3 by 6 inches or something like that, everything had to be like in the size of 3 by 6 inches. You could not have anything like 3 by 6 inches and have the next thing like 9 by 38 inches or something like that. I'm just giving an example. It couldn't be like that for the portrait to be realistic to what your eye was trying to draw. Not art is art. You can draw it in whatever spaces and diameters you want to. However, for that assignment, it had to match up like that, or it wouldn't be a fail per se, because it was all trial and error. It's all learning. It was all learning. However, you have to draw it where it could be realistic to what your eye caught in front of you, and from what angle you caught it at. It couldn't be from the person beside you on your left, or the person beside you on your right, or the person across from you in the room. And it's definitely the person across from you in the room. It wasn't going to be the same picture, because their angle was turned, like how this camera is. It was turned around from a different view. How this camera is viewing out, it would be like viewing in. It'd be like the backwards of left and right. the person across from you. Like the dial on your clock, how the 6 and the 12 is different. How the they're like, even though they're like on the clock is, it's, you know, the 12 and the 6 is right side up. They're kind of, the 12 and the 6 is kind of, one of them is up, kind of upside down, because you're going down. At least the hand, at least the numbers are, but the hands are not perpendicular. They're opposite of perpendicular, if you could say it that way. If I said it right, then each other, they're opposite of each other. The hands on the clock. So that's how. So the reason why I brought that up is sometimes we have to. I could say we should. I'm gonna say we have to. It's necessary that we take a back seat sometimes. You know, sometimes we try to be a driver where we're in the passenger seat of the vehicle, or we're in the back seat on the left or the right. We don't need to do that, because the person that is driving, let's give an example. If a person is, what's a good car? Pretty good. A Toyota, a Nissan, or one of those. What's another good car? A Hyundai or something like that. Toyota, Nissan, or a Hyundai. Driving something like that, the driver knows best. The driver has the best angle. So sometimes, because the position that you're at, or wherever you're standing at on Earth, you're not able to see the angle that the other person can see. You're not able to see their perspective. You know, that leads to assuming wrongly. You know, so I just brought that up, and I kind of left off that where my classmate was saying I wasn't supposed to be in the class. I did some drawing in the past, so I and the Most High feel like I should have been in the class, because I was in the class. I didn't lie. I told them that I went to take an art class at the college, and that's the class that they placed me in. I told them I wanted to learn how to draw better, and it was a good class. I just wasn't able to be done with the class because the what we're going on now started to take place. So, and I just brought that up because no one should have worries about where another person is, or whether or not they should be what they are, or should have what they should have. I'm talking about this particular thing in context right now. They should not have a say so whether a person should be in a certain college class, because they took number one and the other person didn't take number one class. I think the advisors, you know, sometimes, most of the time, especially if it's a good college like I was going to, you know, one of the greatest colleges on earth, then there's no reason why they shouldn't have me in the class. So the whole time while I was walking this person home, as we got halfway, I caught on to what they were talking about. They kept talking about that, and then they were telling me that their parents, this was a woman, and they were telling me that their parents went at home. You know, I'm thinking that the person, I don't know, was he trying to kidnap me at their house, or try to bring me over their house or something like that? I was confused, but I wasn't confused that they were feeling kind of salty of why I was in the second class instead of the first class. So, um, since I do have some drawing experience, I think that the college didn't want me in the first class because I would be wasting my time, you know. Sometimes you can have the experience of something where you can test out of it earlier than you would be out of it in the first place. You won't, and sometimes you won't have to take the class. You know, you won't have to take the test either. They will recognize what level you're at and when they need to where they need to place you at. And sometimes if you just move to the left or the right, or get a little more understanding about something, then you can see it from a different angle.